Welcome to this Sunday service of the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, located in Durham, North Carolina, on the ancestral lands of the Eno, the Saponi, Sissipaha Shakori, and Lumbee people. I'm Reverend Jacqueline Brett, and whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, your gender, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we welcome you. If you're new to this community, and especially if you're visiting with us today, I invite you to introduce yourself in the chat box. You'll also find a link there that will help you to learn more about us. And if you have not yet attended, we invite you to the Inquirer's class for visitors and newcomers, which takes place on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. on Zoom. Information on how to get to Inquirers will appear in the chat box, and you can also access the class via the homepage of our website at ERUUF.org under Events. This morning, we are celebrating our annual Fall Connections Fair, hence the balloons. We're doing it all right here from the sanctuary. Ministry leaders will join me this morning in telling you about all the many ways you can connect with others here at ERUUF. Today is also the start of our religious education program for children and youth. They have been busy all around the care building this morning as they have creatively brought the program outdoors for the fall. Julia Tyler, our director of RE, will be here a little later to tell you more about the wonderful programs that have been planned for this year and how to get your children or youth signed up if you haven't yet done so. Today's music is from the ERUUF archives. The tech team is Jenny Jolly and Michelle Sager, and Stephen Daniel is our sound engineer. So, let us now center ourselves into this time and the sacred place where you are right now. Let us center and bring ourselves fully present to this time we are spending together today. And so we begin with the Prelude with Kate Lewis on piano and Paul Behrman on oboe. Our opening words this morning are adapted from the words of a friend and colleague, Reverend Marta Valentin. Be still with me and enter into the crescent fold of my arm as I gather you to this time and space. Wind your thoughts like a river toward the center of who we are this morning as one body and out among others in the world. Be still with me and enter into this celebration of resilience and resurrection. For we are vessels eternally rising out of the water, alive with a purpose and strength unknown to us. Be still with me and enter quietly into this place of unbound love and gratitude. May the light of our chalice this morning illuminate the bonds of connection, resilience, and love that exist among us all. And so let us sing together. We'll sing our first hymn, Gather the Spirit, presented by the Eno River Singers. The educator Sally Hare has said, "We begin life physically connected to another human being. Even as we leave the uterine cocoon to move out into the world, we're connected to our birth mothers with a cord that provides everything we need to live in the outer world. The cutting of the umbilical cord literally forces our first steps in the lifelong journey between the individual and the community. We come into the world connected and immediately enter the cycles of separation and attachment, of letting go and holding on that mark the seasons of human life. From our first breath, we begin living into the paradoxical roles of the individual and the community. And add to that a pandemic in which we are very much apart from each other as we try to stay healthy and safe, longing for connection as we try to keep one another safe, especially the most vulnerable among us. With all this in mind, it would seem ironic that we come together on this day to talk about connection. So I admit, I really miss our Fall Connections Fair with all the hubbub of activity, tables and tents everywhere, food trucks, laughter and music, and children running around with dripping ice pops. But I know that it is just for this reason that it's more important now than ever that we remember separation is always an illusion. Among the many lessons of the pandemic time is the sure reality that we humans are social, interdependent creatures, along with all other beings and the earth. We most flourish and thrive when we are connected in community one to the other. We are not meant to be apart like this, not for so long. But in this particular time, we are in the paradoxical situation of pivoting to remain apart, even as we must be determined to sustain our connections in order to sustain our community. ERUUF has only come into existence and continues to exist because we, the people of ERUUF, cause it to be. And while I know all of the separation and isolation is difficult and has grown so old, we are tired of Zoom and we are exhausted from all the pivoting. We miss our friends, and I, for one, am tired of speaking to a relatively empty room. I miss your presence. And yet, I know that this is only temporary, and we only remain a community through our determination to sustain our connections in whatever good and healthy ways we can. Thankfully, we are and remain thriving as a community. Yet we will only continue to thrive when you show up, when you attend whatever there is to attend, even when it's online and it's not as wonderful as it used to be when we hugged and sang and had coffee together on Sunday mornings. But remember, this is only temporary. And the wonderful thing is that despite it all, today you will hear about the many activities that continue here at ERUUF in a delightful hubbub of connective activity. All the many ways that people are determined to serve one another and continue in building this community of faith, creating opportunities to learn, to grow, and to flourish together. There is something here for the youngest among us as well as the oldest. The invitation for you is to connect in whatever ways you can. Because despite our current temporary limitations in how we gather, each of us has nonetheless been given the gift of belonging here at ERUUF, in this community that we continue to co-create through our continual presence and determination to thrive together, especially during a pandemic. As you listen to our speakers today, if it is possible, you'll find it helpful to have the YouTube or Facebook chat box open, as links will be placed there so that you can go directly to the page on ERUUF's website that will allow you to find out more information on how to connect to a particular group. And if you're unable to open the chat, you can go to connectionsfair.eruuf.org for more information. That's a special Connections Fair website. Once again, that's connectionsfair.eruuf.org. And so now we begin with our Director of Religious Education, Julia Tyler, who has been busy this morning with the startup of our RE programs for children and youth.
Good morning. I'm Julia Tyler. I'm the Director of Religious Education here at ERUUF, and I'm walking into this worship service after our first official morning back to all our RE classes, which are outdoors, distant, and masked. It feels like sunshine to bask in the light of our community. So special to connect with families after so much time apart. In religious education this fall, we have a preschool RE group and a parents of preschoolers group that met and will be meeting on the playground. We're using a new curriculum that was developed this last year specifically for parents of preschoolers during the pandemic and offers support for the unique set of challenges parents are facing these days. We have a kindergarten to second grade group that is meeting around the fire pit in the woods, the dappled light coming through the trees. They're following an earth justice curriculum, celebrating our seventh principle and the interconnectedness we all have to the web of life. In third to fifth grade, UU Hogwarts is back. We have a robed and wand-wielding team of professors, and there's a video on the Connections Fair webpage with details about all the magic they are making: herbology, potions, divination, care of magical creatures. The wizards are fighting horcruxes of injustice over the course of this year. Come and join Dumbledore's army. In 6th to 8th grade, we have a combined youth group and racial justice RE curriculum. A team of volunteers and I are adapting a curriculum called Growing Anti-Racist UUs, developed by the UU congregation in Charlottesville. The work to adapt and to implement this curriculum is part of our 2,500 Hours of Love project here at ERUUF. And if you'd like to get involved, please let me know. Lastly, at 11 a.m. on Sundays, right now our high school youth group is meeting as a small group ministry circle. And at 1 o'clock, we are running our highly sought-after 9th grade Our Whole Lives OWL program. We have an amazing team of 30 volunteers who are making all these classes happen. Thank you so much, teachers, advisors, OWL facilitators, for your commitment to Unitarian Universalism and to our ERUUF fellowship. Together, we are building a beloved community of support and joy. Come and join us in religious education. You can reach out to me, and we can find that place where your deep gladness meets the world's deep hunger.
Thank you, Julia. In addition to our programs for children and youth, on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., we offer classes for adults through the Inquirer series for newcomers, visitors, and anyone who simply wants to find out more about ERUUF and receive an overview about Unitarian Universalism. There are 8 Inquirers classes in all that run continually throughout the year, just about every Sunday. Also at 9:30 on Sundays, the adult programs team will offer classes on UU history and theology, finance, UU identity, and the popular Spiritual Odyssey program. A big part of what we do here at ERUUF is care for one another, especially when we're in ill health or need. Joyce Boucheron will now share about our care ministries, followed by Susan Green, co-chair of our largest ministry and greatest opportunity for connection at ERUUF, the covenant groups and chalice circles.
Good morning. I am Joyce Boucheron, Chair of Care Ministries at ERUUF, and I'd like to talk to you about making meaningful connections as a member of our Care Ministries team. We welcome you to join us in supporting ERUUF congregants during challenging times. I think you'll find, as I have, that each act of caring is an act of relationship building. And I'd like to give you a few specific examples of how you might participate. Do you enjoy being a good listener? Our pastoral care associates engage with deep listening and one-on-one conversations and support during a challenging time or for companionship. This is a powerful way to build connection. Do you like to cook? We'd love for you to occasionally provide a meal to someone in recovery from surgery or grieving a loss. Have you appreciated the gift of a thoughtful note that lifted your spirits during a time of sickness, healing, or grief? You might find card writing to be a rewarding ministry. Are you an avid knitter or do you enjoy crocheting? Our Clickers group gives beautiful yarn creations as an act of caring, both within ERUUF and in the wider community. Do flowers bring you joy? We deliver to our homebound members vases of flowers prepared from Sunday service floral arrangements. They are a symbol of our enduring bond. Finally, there are monthly opportunities to make connections with the members of our pastoral care team, as we share of ourselves through personal check-ins, as we strengthen our care skills through training topics offered by Reverend Stacy Grove, we build community. We welcome you to build community with us through acts of care. If you would like to join us or for more information, I encourage you to reach out to me or to Reverend Stacy. Look for our contact information under Caring on the ERUUF website.
Hi, I'm Susan Green, co-chair of the steering team for ERUUF's Covenant Groups and Chalice Circles. These groups are a major part of UU small group ministry nationwide, and they're also important at ERUUF. We currently have about 170 members in 17 or 18 different groups. Each group has 8 to 10 people and meets once or twice a month with a trained leader. Each month we explore a different topic through a special meeting structure that involves sharing and deep listening. So what does this unique group structure offer us? It allows us to connect with other ERUUFians at a more personal level than we get in typical conversations or discussions. These groups allow us to consider a wide range of topics with a fresh perspective. If you look at the resource website, you'll see it offers topics from A to Z, aggression to Zoom. With this fresh perspective, we aren't allowed to dwell in our comfortable intellectual certainties or our pet opinions. We're offered questions on the topic that provide a novel lens, the lens of our own experiences, feelings, and wisdom gleaned from our individual journeys. We learn to listen actively as each member shares in turn. We make connections. We notice what resonates or contrasts with our own experience. We affirm each other. I can personally attest to the powerful impact of these groups. The small size, regular meetings, and personal sharing help us develop a home base for our involvement at ERUUF. During the pandemic, many members have told us that their group involvement has provided uniquely valuable social connection and support. Groups also perform at least one service project per year, which gives us an opportunity to put into action our shared values. Today at the Connections Fair, you have the opportunity to sign up for one of these groups if you're not already a member. On the Connections Fair website, go to Covenant Groups and Chalice Circles and click on Request to Join. When you register, you'll be able to designate your available times and indicate whether you prefer to meet online or in person. Please act now. Registration closes this Tuesday, October 5th, so that we can finalize group membership and kick off our October meetings. Thank you.
In addition to covenant groups and chalice circles, there are two other opportunities to socialize and connect. The first is through our affinity groups, which range from a theater group to groups for men, parents and seniors, fiber arts, knitting and crocheting groups, and a literary journal for which we are in need of an editor. And so if you're interested, please get in touch with me. Another way to connect is through our Faith and Sources groups, which include the Christian Fellowship, a Course in Miracles, Humanists, the Covenant of UU Pagans, the Jewish Fellowship, and the Eno River Buddhist Community. Though some of our affinity groups and Faith Sources groups are on a temporary pandemic hiatus, others do continue to meet in creative ways. See the links in the chat to connect with a group that might interest you. Among the many things the pandemic has revealed is how important music is to our congregation. We miss singing together in community, even those among us who do not sing very well, yours truly, and we miss making music in other ways as well. The leaders in our music ministry have worked hard to continue bringing music to us nonetheless, and for that we are so very grateful. Over the past year, we have managed to create a video archive of their work, which has allowed us to have music even when things happen, like construction work in the sanctuary, making it impossible for us to have live musicians for our Sunday services. I offer many, many thanks to all of our musicians for their love of music making and their service in bringing music to all of us. Here to say more about how to get involved in the music ministry is Pam DeLavore.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you today to talk about ERUUF's music ministry. The mission of the music ministry is to enhance worship services with a wide variety of music opportunities, to promote fellowship and fun, and to create spiritual practice for both the musicians and the people who listen to the music. These last 18 months have been so challenging for all of us, but they have been particularly challenging in ways that I will not bore you with for people who are trying to make music as a group. I am so proud of the many ways that our music groups have adapted and forged ahead to make connections with each other and with the congregation. Right now, we are at a new pivot point. So many of our groups are on hiatus for the moment, but none of them are going away. I want to tell you a little bit about some of them. We have the Eno River Singers under the direction of Jacqueline Neal that sings choral music in a variety of parts, usually from written music. This is a group for singers of all different levels of experience and ability. It's a non-auditioned group for people who are adults or down through high school. We also have the Beloved Community Chorus that is a group that is dedicated to the beloved community and to singing music from the oral tradition, which means a lot of call and response and learning music by ear. And this group generally sings music that is from the African American tradition, as well as other traditions from around the world. Both the Eno River Singers and the Beloved Community Chorus are on hiatus for the moment, but will be back very soon. The River Folk is a folk ensemble that sings music that is primarily from the white folk traditions, but also from other folk traditions from around the world. That group has been continuing to practice and will be meeting going forward. We've been able to keep the children's groups going. So we have the Chalice Singers, which is for children who are in second grade through middle school, and the Sunshine Kids for our youngest singers who are 4 to 7 years old. Both of those groups are on hiatus at the moment, but we are bringing them back as soon as we can do that safely together. The drum circle has been drumming away and will continue to do so. And we also have small and informal ensembles, and we are always looking for instrumentalists. I encourage you to follow the link in your chat to go to the music groups page and really find out about how to contact any of our groups going forward. And also to look at the Connections Fair website to see some videos that we think are pretty nice of some of our music groups. Some of the other things that we do is we have Cafe ERUUF that we have had several times virtually, and we will be having Cafe ERUUF again, both virtually for the immediate future and hopefully someday in person. And I want to give a little shout out to the sound team. Every Sunday, while the rest of us are lounging around in our pajamas, drinking coffee and watching the service online, our sound team members are here making sure that the sound comes out to you, to all of us, loud and clear. And again, you can find contact information for all of these people at the music website. I want to tell you about one last thing, which is the search for a new 3/4-time music director. This is ongoing. We have a search team that's been working very hard. We have developed a job description that has been posted. We're trying to get it around to a lot of different places. We are trying to cast a wide net, and we're also looking to include more diversity, more inclusiveness, and broaden our musical perspectives as we go forward. So I encourage you to look in the e-news because we do have frequent updates letting you know what that search team is up to. And there's also a link to the job description that's posted on the website. And so please, if you know anybody, if you have a friend of a friend of a friend who may be interested, who may be a good fit for ERUUF, please, we're looking to really find people who might share our passion and our inspiration for music. Thank you.
I invite you to join with me now for a time of prayer. And these are once again the words of Reverend Marta Valentin. Spirit of life all around us, you have gathered us together in a swirl of healing wind. Take this newfound apprehension, an unwelcomed shawl heavy upon our shoulders, and make of it a comforter soft and warm and trusting, in which we might find rest for our weary souls. We hold in our hearts the joys and sorrows of our beloveds in this community. Susan Heyman, who is grateful to be home, recovering from surgery for a subdural hemorrhage. Gerda and Jean Presson as they manage both personal and family health concerns. Ross and Holly McKinney and family on the death of Ross McKinney Sr., member emeritus of ERUUF, who died September 18th, having recently celebrated his 95th birthday. Memorial plans are pending. David Bowler, longtime ERUUF member and Riverfolk member, who died on Thursday, September 23rd. Family and friends celebrated him in a small memorial gathering in his honor. Linda Phillips Madsen and family on the death of her husband, Johann Madsen, who died on Monday, September 27th, after recent hospitalization. Johann was a longtime Unitarian Universalist, former ERUUF board chair, and member of several teams and committees. His immediate family gathered to celebrate his life. Let us pause for a moment of sacred silence as we hold each of these beloveds in our hearts. Each day we awaken, may our first thought and vision be the peace in the eyes of our sisters, brothers, cousins, friends, who also see the peace in our own. And from this gaze into each other, may the peace of our hearts heal one another. Amen. Ashe. And blessed be. Amen. The work of keeping our fellowship in good running order is done through our fellowship teams, connecting and serving together first through governance on our board of trustees and committees of the board who see to our policies, set an annual vision of ministry, and overarching goals to guide us. Bonnie LaCroix, our board chair, was to say more about this, but had an unexpected conflict this morning. I will say that the board's nominating committee is always interested in speaking with ERUUFians who have been members for at least a year and might be interested in serving on the board. See the links in the chat box. Other groups among our fellowship teams are the Stewardship Steering Team, which shepherds important activities such as our annual pledge drive, fundraisers, and planned giving. The Eno River Fellowship Foundation provides grants for new programs and projects. The membership team continues to welcome visitors and newcomers every single Sunday. And their hard work has resulted in people continuing to join ERUUF, even during a pandemic. They could use a couple of volunteers to serve as online visitor hosts to welcome people in the chat during our virtual worship services, which won't go away, by the way. Even when we're back in person, we will have hybrid service, so we will always be online. So they could use some online visitor hosts. Do reach out to them if you'd like to sign up to assist with this. There are also groups that tend to our buildings and campus, to the aesthetics of the sanctuary, or who see that we have art in our gallery. And at least 100 people serve in various ways on Sunday mornings throughout the year. Though we are not meeting in person now, we will begin meeting again soon. So do let any of the Sunday teams, such as visitor hosts, greeters, sound and coffee teams, know if you're interested in participating with them. It is one of the best ways to be in connection, in community, and get to know others here. Two areas that have great importance to us here at ERUUF are our ongoing commitment to racial equity and inclusion, which is strategically informed by the work of this change team and through programs created and led by the multicultural team. The other area important to us is our justice work, which is the most often cited reason people come to ERUUF, to participate in bringing justice to the world with a community of faith aligned with their values. Ann Verdine will talk about the work of the multicultural team, followed by Holly Kingdon and Cheryl Turney, who will share about ERUUF's justice ministry. We begin with Ann.
Good morning. In light of his recent 97th birthday, I thought it quite relevant to quote former President Jimmy Carter as saying, "We become not a melting pot, but a beautiful mosaic. Different people, different beliefs, different yearnings, different hopes, different dreams." That perfectly describes the multicultural team. We are a beautiful mosaic of ERUUFians exchanging knowledge about our own cultures and delving deeper into others not represented on the team. We create opportunities for interracial exchanges in brave spaces so that participants are able to learn and grow together. Some of our most recent programs were an 8-week discussion about the book Cast, several intercultural virtual museum tours, some of which included the National Museum of American Indians, the Latinx Heritage Museum, and the National Women's History Museum, just to name a few. We also rolled out our first trans inclusion program, which was a collaboration between Pride Plus and the multicultural team, with some sessions led by our very own Reverend Michael Slack. One of our most popular programs was the Interracial Dialogue Series. Participants were so engaged and eager to continue the discussions that we created a second phase. All of the participants from the first phase joined the second phase. Every single person. If you didn't have an opportunity to participate last year, never fear. The multicultural team will be announcing the Interracial Dialogue Series as our first program offering this year, so be on the lookout for more information. We have some great programs on the horizon, and we would welcome your involvement as a participant or as a member of the team. The multicultural team is co-led by myself and Nancy Couts, so please contact either of us by reaching out to email multiculturalteam@eruuf.org. Again, that's multiculturalteam@eruuf.org. We believe that a multicultural society does not reject the culture of others, but is prepared to listen, to see, to dialogue, and in the final analysis, to accept the other's culture without compromising its own. And that is exactly what the multicultural team is about.
Greetings.
We are Holly Kingdon,
And Cheryl Turney.
and we currently serve as co-moderators of the Justice Ministry Council.
Our Justice Ministry is the primary program area at ERUUF that faces outward into the Durham community and beyond, and provides opportunities for members to engage with the larger world to live our UU principles.
We want to share with you our vision and our mission. The ERUUF Justice Ministry envisions a world healed and transformed in which social, economic, and environmental justice are universal. Our vision of a justice ministry is at once a spiritual and a practical journey. It calls us to deepen our understanding of our personal core beliefs about human relationships and our earth. The wellspring that feeds our practical journey is love, not anger, group dedication and action, as well as isolated individual effort, and courage to be present and to speak truth to power and not fear reprisal or defeat.
The Justice Ministry focuses our energy as a community on key initiatives that make significant and meaningful contributions to reverse conditions of social, economic, and environmental injustice. This ministry impacts the broader ERUUF community through spiritual growth by practicing commitment, learning, service, and advocacy. The Justice Ministry Council that Holly and I co-moderate is an umbrella group that supports the various justice action groups and coordinates their planning and budgeting. Currently, we have 8 different justice action groups. Here are examples.
The Homeless Action Group partners with Urban Ministries of Durham. Our members and friends volunteer at the homeless shelter to support the Urban Ministries programs.
The Advancing Democracy Action Group partners with other organizations that fight for citizens' rights, such as You Can Vote, the NAACP, Forward Together, the Women's March, and March for Our Lives. Events include phone banks, canvassing, and marching.
Refugee and Immigrant Justice Action Group works in close partnership with organizations, local organizations involved in refugee, resettlement, and immigrant support. The group is currently seeking furniture donations for refugees expected to arrive from Afghanistan.
Our Earth Justice Action Group is completing a 3-year program to become a UUA Green Sanctuary congregation. One of the numerous projects involved working closely with the staff to have solar panels installed on our care building.
Other groups are Durham CAN, Congregations, Associations, and Neighborhoods, Sister Communities of San Ramon, Nicaragua, the Lakewood Elementary Bag Packing Team, and also Pride Plus.
Come join with us and engage to make a difference.
Hello again. I am Ann Verdine Jones, and my partner Sam Wands and I are champions for ERUUF's 2,500 Hours of Love project. ERUUFians are asked to log 2,500 hours of service work both individually and as a collective to advance racial equity in Durham and surrounding areas. The 2,500 Hours of Love is a gift of service, our way to acknowledge Reverend Deborah Care's legacy and unwavering commitment to racial justice. Although we have been talking about this initiative and encouraging participation, we officially launched on September 12th with Reverend Deb receiving her very own t-shirt. Since that time, we have pledged, drum roll please, 1,460 hours. Amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, our goal is to have 2,500 hours pledged by November 1st. Only 1,040 hours to go. We can do this. There are so many organizations that are eager to work with us that have already been listed on the website. You can click on Organizations and Projects to view the expansive list. There are also projects already scheduled on the calendar. Just click Scheduled Events at the top of the page and view the calendar to find out more. You can also submit an event or project via the website. Simply scroll to the bottom of the page, click Submit a Project, and add the details. But first, you'll need to visit 2500hoursoflove.eruf.org, preferably by the end of today, to create an account and pledge your commitment. Once you do, we will send you a 2,500 Hours of Love t-shirt, and we would love to have pictures of your volunteer experience or a brief narrative. You can even submit a video, 2 to 3 minutes, about your experience. Our vision is that 2,500 Hours of Love will encourage partnerships and engagement beyond our regular routines. Have you ever stood at the top of a mountain or a cliff, cupped your mouth, and yelled, "Hello"? Well, I did that at the Grand Canyon, and much to my chagrin and disappointment, all I received was stares from other visitors. But we've got this. We can do this. We want our acts of love to vibrate throughout the community so that the echo of our love and commitment to racial equity spread far and wide. I am so excited for ERUFians to honor Reverend Care, spread love, and form lasting relationships in our community.
Thank you so much, Anne. She can really call us into action, can't she? As we live into the possibilities of connecting in beloved community, all are invited to give the gifts of time, talent, and treasure with an ethic of love, as Anne just said. At this time, we take up our morning offering. And while some give through an automatic draft, there is also a link in the chat box that anyone may use to give at this time. You may also go to eruf.org and click the Give button at the top of the screen. Today's offertory is So Much by Leah Morris with the beloved Community Chorus Ensemble.
There's so much to appreciate, even when the world seems out of hand. Even when we do not understand, still there's so much. Ooh, ba-ba, ba-ba, there's so much, so much that is wonderful, even in the temptation to breathe. Let us take a moment just to breathe and recognize there's so much. Ooh, ba-ba, ba-ba, there's so much to be grateful for, so much peace of love and change. There's a chance that something new begins, and don't you want that so much? Oh, there's so much. I know we need it so much, so much, so
Yes, there is so much for us to be grateful for our community, for all the ways that we can connect. And so we give thanks in this moment for all the gifts of our beloved community. Our final hymn this morning is Let Your Little Light Shine. It's sung by the beloved community chorus on the children's music album Unitarian Universalist Sing-Along Songs, which was produced by members of the music program right here at ERUUF and has been distributed to congregations across the country. A link to information on how to download the album or get a physical copy of the CD will appear in your chat box. Meanwhile, sing along with us. The words will appear on the screen.
Let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. So let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. And it may be you, or it may be me, traveling over land or the deep blue sea. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. They may be from near or from lands afar, traveling by morning sun or the evening star. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. So let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. Let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. It might be me or it might be you. It might be a friend or a sibling too. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. So in times of trouble or in times of woe, don't you ever let your light burn low. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. So let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. Let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. Yes, there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home.
You know, I told Jenny that she always makes me cry with these videos, and she has done it yet again. Seeing all of your faces and all of the moments that we've shared together is incredibly moving, and I can't wait until we can do it again. Our closing words this morning are by Mark Nepo, who says, "What holds everything together, what releases resilience, and what renews us when we're struggling is relationship. Relationship is the lifeblood of inner health. Let us be determined to remain steadfast in holding to the bonds of our community by remaining connected, my friends, no matter how often in the coming days we might find ourselves needing to pivot. Go in peace, go in love, and may our connections be a blessing." Amen.
Let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. So let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. And it may be you, or it may be me, traveling over land or the deep blue sea. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. They may be from near or from lands afar, traveling by morning sun or the evening star. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. So let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. Let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. It might be me or it might be you. It might be a friend or a sibling too. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. So in times of trouble or in times of woe, don't you ever let your light burn low. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. So let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. Let your little light shine, shine, shine. Let your little light shine on my soul. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get more. Yes, there might be someone